For some reason, Donald Trump and Elon Musk decided to go to Philadelphia this past weekend to see a wrestling championship. And so, of course, the media tagged along, hey, Trump and Musk are going to a place, best buddies watching wrestling. And no offense to people who watch wrestling. But the New York Times decided, you know what? Since we're here and, Donald Trump's here, Musk is here, they're people excited, let's talk to the people. Let's get their opinions of both Trump and Musk. And the New York Times found that while a lot of Trump fans, the MAGA folks, do indeed like Elon Musk, there's a good number of them, and I think a growing number, who are really sick of the guy and do not like what he is doing, with one MAGA supporter going as far as to suggest that Donald Trump has been emasculated by Elon Musk. But here's a couple of reactions that the New York Times got talking to MAGA fans. Again, these are not independents. These are not Democrats. These aren't just Republicans. They're hardcore Trumpers. The first one, a former wrestling coach, said, "Not a big fan of Elon. He's making a lot of callous cuts." You know what? That's a very smart response. That is absolutely just spot on. Like, hey, I don't like that he's just going in with his chainsaw, just cut without thinking anything through. Very good response. I like that a lot. Another one, this is a 24-year-old finance broker, said, "He's going a little rampant. I think everyone can agree with that." And then that guy's girlfriend chimed in and said, "It's someone putting their hand in a cookie jar they don't belong in." Again, great responses, no notes. You guys hit the nail on the head. But here comes a good one. There's a 48-year-old wrestling mom who said about Trump and Elon Musk and Musk hanging around all the time, she said it looks ridiculous and makes Trump looks like he's kissing ass to get money. And that's the emasculating part, right? Because Donald Trump has for a long time, and Republicans have for a long time, held him up to be the epitome of what a man should be, right? They put the golden statues of him out at those, CPAC conventions in the exhibitor hall. They love him, and they do think that he is this larger-than-life superhero as he portrays himself in his NFTs. But in reality, he's a cuck. Let's just call it what it is. Dude's a cuck, right? I said that last week. And that is what some of these people, at least, are willing to be, they don't go as far as to use that word, but that's kind of what they're getting at, right? Like, Trump is kissing Elon's ass. It's a bad look. What they're really trying to say is that Donald Trump has been emasculated. He has been neutered in his own White House by this weird freak who doesn't know what he's going to do from one moment to the next. Is he going to run out on stage with a chainsaw acting like a horror movie villain, or is he going to be filmed at Mar-a-Lago balancing spoons on his finger? Like a grown adult man typically does at a fancy dinner. Either way, they don't like what they see. But the opinions of the regular, MAGA fans don't necessarily matter as much as the opinions of Republicans in power. And at the same time this report came out telling us that MAGA fans don't like Musk, another report came out telling us that Republican strategists on behalf of Republicans in D.C. are sounding the alarm bells because the hatred of Elon Musk, the unpopularity of what he's doing in D.C. is going to cost Republicans big time in next year's midterms. GOP strategist Alex Conant said that voters haven't necessarily heard about the benefits of Doge, and there's going to be political costs. What Republicans should be concerned about is Musk's effectiveness. If Doge actually breaks things that people care about and rely on, there's gonna be political costs to that. Again, that's a Republican strategist, and I think it's a great statement as well. Right now, we're hearing, Doge found this, and then the media immediately comes out and fact checks it, and says, no, they didn't. So the voters aren't seeing any real things. All they're hearing about is the chaos and the potential cuts to the programs they depend upon. Another Republican strategist, Doug Hay, said this: "There's going to be real job losses that we're not measuring yet, but we're going to in the coming weeks and months. Those losses are going to have an impact, especially in specific communities, could make life harder for the reliable voter, typically for Trump. That kind of slow burn, I think, could have an impact. So, Republican strategists are freaking out. The voters themselves, the Trump voters, are telling the media, yeah, we don't like this guy. We don't like the cuts. We don't like what's happening. But as that one voter pointed out, Trump is kissing his ass, not the other way around. And Trump's not going to get rid of Elon. He's not going to kick him out. He wants his money. He wants that access to Twitter. So Trump is stuck. He'll keep the freak, not even realizing that that freak is really the one in charge, at least in the eyes of Trump's own voters. First, Elon Musk gutted federal agencies. Then he slashed public services. Now his people are fighting to keep their corruption under wraps. But a federal judge ruled Musk's alleged Department of Government efficiency is not exempt from open records laws. Judge Christopher Cooper made it clear that the Trump administration completely failed to argue against the fact that DOJ is acting with massive unchecked power. Ground News analyzed dozens of sources covering this from across the political spectrum. And comparing coverage, you'll see how some spin this as a partisan issue while others call it what it is, proof of corruption. Same story, different spin, and exactly why you can't blindly trust the first headline you see without knowing the biases behind them. That's why I've been relying on my partners at Ground News for a long time. If you like my show, you'll love how their app and website lets you compare coverage with context on each source's political bias, credibility, and financial incentives. This way, you're not just taking one source's word for what's happening, you're seeing past the layers of selective reporting shaping your worldview. Billionaires and political agendas are controlling more and more of our media, deciding what they want us to see and think. Ground News, on the other hand, it's independent, it's nonpartisan, and only committed to helping us think critically about the stories shaping everything from public opinion to public policy. And since I can't track everything Trump and Musk are doing or undoing alone, I've curated feeds that track them for me from credible sources to make sure I'm giving you all the most reliable information. And now you can too, for nearly half the price. Go to ground.news/Farron to get the same unlimited access Vantage plan that I use for just $5 a month. Take back control of how you stay informed today. The link is in the video description.